Okay. Lankesh, so today what we'll do is see how to do HMC update and
Okay.
how to do HMC update and 1 minute. Yeah. So we'll do HMC update as well as uh, I will also show you like uh, how we can do firmware code update as well, right? So that day we did that, but today since we'll do that again, right? Okay.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. So this is my LCB screen, right? So you know, right, how to log into the LCB screen. So I'm currently using LCB
Yes.
334.
Okay.
Likewise, we have multiple LCBs as well, right? So this is the one of it. So if we feel like there is some issue on that, then we can obviously use some other LCB, right? So
Yeah. Right.
there, yeah.
I know
So
about 332 and triple three.
yeah. So there are likewise there are multiple kinds of multiple LCB types, right? So this is one type of it. For example, if you face any issues, right, so we can just choose some other LCB as well, right? So
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
So you know, right? So whenever we need to use any script to do any of the manipulation or with the system, for example, do any because so here we have all the repositories, right? So all the scripts are all stored over here in the LCB, and the path at which it is stored is FSP mount tools, correct? So here, if I give ls, so you could see all the uh, list of scripts, all the scripts which we can use for all over this one. So for all of this script, right? So actually we have a manual process as well, right? But
Yeah. Right.
since it's all automated, so it's better to use all the scripts, and it is since it will save a lot of time for us. We can also like go for the manual thing just for our better understanding, right? Like how exactly the things work over there, right? But for now,
Yeah. Right.
I will show you how to use the scripts and all, right? So so firstly, let me do HMC update. So you know, right, how to execute a script. So these are all the built. So these are all the scripts which are already been present over here. So what I will do is I will show you how to do that update, right? So uh, if so, yeah. So you could see here firmware. Where is the update firmware? Yep. So we have
Yes.
update firmware, right? So it's all like what you can say, update firmware. And for beginner, if you are like unaware of the scenarios, like what exact how to use the parameters for that script and how we can go ahead with that, so what you can do is you can just execute it without issuing any parameters, right? So what
Okay.
happens is like we have an error log set up for each and every script, and it will explain the user in much a better way, right? For example,
Yeah. Right.
since see now here it's saying like, okay, option hyphen m is missing, right? So later on, if you see the usage, so it says like hyphen m and FSP IP. So we got to know like, okay, we have to use the FSP IP in order to do any of the firmware update over here, right? And also we
Yeah.
need
Right.
to specify the build path, a build or build path. So this is nothing but the version. For example, it is a 213A version, right? So
Right.
hyphen B, you can use that if you want to do that update to the 213A. So you can just include the name over here, right? Instead of the after hyphen B, then that build name, right? And
Yeah.
rest all of the things are optional. So that depends upon the scenario which are using. But by default, these are the two important uh, aspect. And also one more thing, what happens is like the script is built in such a way that whenever you if you are just issuing the hyphen m option itself, so it will pick up the latest one, right? So that is
Yeah. Right.
also an yeah. So whenever we are specifying a hyphen b, then it will select the particular version itself of the firmware. But if you are if you are just issuing hyphen m, so by default it will pick up the latest build, right? So that is understood.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, so hyphen m is missing, so that means like that is FSP, right? So which we had discussed earlier, right? So
Yes.
everything is done by default.
Hello. Hello. Nitesh, your voice is breaking and not audible to me. Hello. 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 Nitesh, you are not audible to me. Hello.
Hello. Hello. Can you hear me now? Lankesh?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
It is
Some network fluctuation, I guess. Yeah. Okay. So this is how we did for firmware update, right? And this was covered that day, right? In our
yes.
session, right? And today the same things, but if you want to do the update of the HMCs, then we can use this command, HMC, right? So this is
Okay.
also
Right.
one of the command which from which we can do the HMC update, right? So just issue this command. So what happens is you can see my screen, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Just yeah. See. So we are getting this kind of output as well for this, right? So what it is expecting us is to give hyphen m. So that is the name of the just a minute. Yeah. Just a minute.
Yes.
Yeah, see. So again, so same way, if you want to get understanding of things on any of the scripts, so again issue the same thing. So see here it's asking for option hyphen m is missing, right? And
Yes.
so here if you could see usage is like update HMC underscore HMC IP. So here we talk about the HMC IP, right? So this all
Right.
information will be getting by get system info, correct? HMC
Yeah. Right.
IP. HMC IP is nothing but the name of the HMC, or you can use the IP address of the HMC, correct?
IP address. Right.
Yeah, and one more thing is like here, what happens is like if you, so you can just validate like what exactly is my HMC this one, right? So it is hyphen V, right? After hyphen M, if you give hyphen V, so what it will do is it will just check and give the output to you like what is the current, it will just verify what is the HMC, right?
Yes.
So there will be no update performed, right? And this hyphen B is the one where you give the build of the HMC, right?
Right.
So I have given you the link as well, right, for HMC code. But there is also another way. So what happens is like usually whenever we are working on production and working on testing environment, so there will be update given by TRMs, right? Like I guess you did you see any update like we have latest build available for this HMCs and all, right? So you can just
Yes.
click on
Yes.
that link.
I
Yeah,
go.
yeah, you can just click on that link and you can get this build information on that. Okay.
Yes.
So yeah, so basically these are the important. These are hyphen m is important thing because hyphen m is nothing but the name of the like you are exactly
IP.
yeah
HMC
segregating
IP and what name?
which system you want to do, right. For example, now
Yeah.
let
Right.
me do one thing. Let me check this.
Can you give
Let
the example how to means?
Yeah, yeah, sure, I will give you. Yeah, for example, so firstly, let me what you can say. Let me begin from scratch. Okay, so we'll just use this command
Get system on the full open.
-m. Then we'll just give den2 fp1. Correct.
Yes.
So we will get all the information regarding this system, right? So suppose if it is connected to any of the HMC, we'll get that information after running the script. Correct.
Yes. Right.
So here we
So
will
how
get two
much
things.
is the FSP is available for us? Means I saw in thread means Dennis race in Slack. So how much days the system is required to establish or the uh, for user purpose for packaging purpose.
I didn't get your question. Can you just repeat again? Like what exactly you needed, you expect?
Means I want to know means how much days we are required to perform the this upgrade and firmware update and HMC
No, no,
update.
that is, yeah. So that would be like weekly or bi-weekly, right? So firmware update is nothing but if see as a tester, what we do is we do, create we get we create the defects, and if that defects gets resolution, so that fixes will be there in the next build. So that is in the next firmware, right? So those issues will are
Okay.
resolved in next build. Right, so it is a weekly or
Okay.
bi-weekly, right? So weekly or bi-weekly, we will be getting new releases of firmware. So what we have to do is we have to make sure we are updating our systems with that build, right? So this is like weekly or bi-weekly, right? Like that.
So once this system or FSP is deployed to the client, and how we can
Yeah,
means
that they will take care. That they will do that. The firmware update and all, they have their own technical team, right? So they will take care of it. So no issues
okay,
on that.
okay.
Yeah. So see, these are all on the. So these are all like what you can say. You have everything is present in the secured environment, and they have their own team too. They have their own expertise, right? So
They
it's
are
not like a
okay.
yeah.
They
So
will
they
manage and
yeah.
maintain.
Yeah, so they have their own team to run all this stuff, right? So, so that things are all taken care. For example, what happens is like whenever you see, for example, for the railways, right? For example, right? So you have IRCTC application, right? So what
Yeah,
happens is
right.
like we will be having some maintenance period, right? Something like that.
Yes,
You
yes,
got it?
yes, yes. Yes, their workshop is
Yeah.
there, and they are
So yeah,
after the
but in client environment,
completion.
we will not be having this many because this is like currently we are just developing it, right? So that's why we are having too many of builds, right? But once
Yeah,
we
right.
the main purpose of us the main purpose of what we are doing here is to give them the stable firmware, right? So our end goal is to give them the stable firmware, right?
Yeah, right, right.
Yeah. So yeah, so that's how it is. Yeah. So I guess some issue was there with that, right? So let me issue that command again. So here our main focus will be like testing both hardware as well as the firmware, right? So firmware is also part of the hardware system test, right? So
Yeah, right.
what are the defects we create, right? So at the end of the day, it must be fixed and it must be reflected in the new build. You got it?
Yes,
For
yes, yes.
example,
We have to
so for
replace
example,
with
yeah. So
new
for
one.
example, if you have some application right in the Google App Store or something in Google Play Store or Google in App Store, right? So what happens is like if we find any bugs, right? For example, customer are reporting like, okay, we are not able to access this information or that information, right? So that feedback is taken by them by the company, and then what they will do is they will fix all those bugs and they will release the new version, right? For example, if for all the Android we are getting a latest version, right? Like periodically we are getting some versions with some fix, right?
Yeah, right.
So that's right. That's how. So that is totally based upon. So even for example, even we are also providing some of the assistance on that front. But it also depends on the scenarios, right? Like if they are seeing a lot of bugs and all, then we will provide them assistance and they'll will give the stable version. But that
Yeah,
should
yeah.
not
Okay.
happen. So that's why we are doing all this kind of testings and all, right? Regression testing and all these things. So we want to make sure like whatever we are delivering to the client are all
We have to give the stable version, so the
yeah,
client is
they are all
satisfied with
stable
our.
version, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, because here these systems cost it's too
it's a very
costly, right? Yeah, it's very
cost.
big investments, right? So we have to take care of all these things, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
So here, see here I got this HMC information, or either you can use IP address or either you can use the name of the HMC, right? For our better
Yeah, right.
understanding, I will for now I will use this HMC. name. So now what I will do is, so we got that information, right? So what I will do is I will just give uh, get HMC hyphen M then to FP1 then hyphen V.
V. V for verifying.
Yeah. And here it's not a system name, okay? Just be mindful. It is a IP address of your HMC, right? When we are telling HMC, it's always the IP address of HMC, right? Whenever we are
Yes,
dealing
yes.
with any other stuff, then it would be the name of the system, okay?
Okay.
So update firmware is very specific to a system, right? But HMC is specific to like multiple systems might connect to one HMC, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, see, now if I'm giving this, see, it is giving me all the information, right? So validating the current HMC passed, HMC passed. So current level is this, okay? And the latest level is this, right? So both are matching, right? So that means it's up to date. So our HMC is up to date. See, here it's at the latest, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So
So
that's how we do.
where
Yeah.
we get from means the IP address?
Yeah, same thing, right? Like, see, IP address is nothing but the see. So basically, what happens is like the domain name or whatever the name which we have, right? So everything has an IP address itself, right? So this is just
Yes.
for our user understanding purpose, right? So in basic environment, if you give like what we will use, we'll using www.ibm.com, right? But behind that we have an IP address, right? But not everyone can remember. Remember, it's quite difficult for us to remember the IP address rather than understanding the name, right? For example, ibm.com that can be remembered by anyone, but whenever we are discussing in terms of IP address, so it's very technical and it's not that easy to remember the IP address, right? So
Yes.
behind the every name we have an IP address. So either it is up to us, we can either use the name of the domain name or we can use the IP address, right? So both are the same. So both are pointing to the same thing, right?
Yes.
We can either use either use this name or either we can use IP address. So both will give the same information. Okay. So you
No,
want me
yes,
to?
I got it, but where we find this IP address?
So just now I showed you the update output, right? Get
Yes.
system info. I
Yes,
showed
yes.
you, right? So there, I talked to you, right? Like I told you, right? There is a HMC name behind that we have IP address of that HMC, right? Did you see that? Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yes, but I don't know about HSTV, HMC 9.
Array, but you are confusing, right? See, you don't know about it, fine, but so from system, it is see, you are mostly focused on your systems, right? And whatever it is
Yes.
connected to, right? So our system is Den to FP1. Okay. So since we are doing our testing on Den to FP1, so it is obvious like we have to keep the track of what HMC it is connected to, and is that HMC is updated or not, up to date or not.
Yes, yes. Right, right.
Correct. See,
Yes.
again I will show you. Get system info. This is for specifically to Den to FP1. Okay. So likewise, I told you, right? Like one HMC might have more than more
Yes,
than
yes.
two systems as well, right? So, but we are focusing more on the system and whatever that system is connected to. So we are updating all the components related to it, right? For example, this system is connected to see in get system info. I told you, right? We will get all the HMC information, FSP information, everything with this
Yes, yes.
command, right?
With the help of gate system info.
Yeah. So you see, let me get that information. So you are confused like why when we where how can I get that IP address of that HMC?
Yes, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Not
So let
confused,
me
but where we find and
see here we have right in front of you only see here we have see HMC connected. So we have IP address here and this is the name of the HMC. So either you can use
okay,
this
okay.
HMC name or you can use IP address.
IP address. Okay.
Got it?
Yeah.
So if you just have this domain name also, so you can find out the IP address. Let me show you that how you can do. If your domain name and if you want IP address, just do this one. Ping that. See, this is the IP address of that this one. So at the back end, everything is IP address only, right? So this is just
Yes,
for
yes.
our reference. But at the back end, when it at the DNS server, the name is registered in this way. It's in
Yes,
IP
yes.
address only. Okay. So don't confuse about that. And
Yeah.
whenever we are doing an HMC code update, right? HMC update. So we have to be careful, like we have to like we have one group, right? we have a channel where we discuss everything about HMC, right? HMC
Okay,
status
okay,
screen. So I will add you on to that group as well. So
okay.
what we have to do is like we have to make sure we are asking for them like this is the HMC update which I'm doing, and please let me know if there is any conflict, right? Because
Yeah, right.
some might be running their systems or something like that, right? They might be doing their own tasks with that systems, right? So it is just an FII, and if this is like okay, you are good to go, then you can proceed with your code update, right? It is just to
Okay.
make you make them aware. Like for example, I know since I'm using Dento, I'm aware like okay, my HMC is connected to this, my system is connected to this HMC, correct? So
Yes.
when I feel like okay, I want to do this HMC update, so I will go and inform in that group. I will tell like, is there any conflict? Is there any? I'm doing a code update on this HMC. So whoever has their system connected to this HMC, please let me know if there is any conflict, right? So if you don't
Yes.
get any update or outlook on that, then you can proceed with. You can just wait for 5 or 10 minutes. If no one is responding to that, then you can proceed ahead and do the code update, right? Because
Yeah, right.
what happens is like HMC get disconnected, right? So at that point of time, you're doing and you're doing a code update, right, of HMC. So at that point of time, the HMC will not right.
Yeah, right.
If someone is on critical tasks and if they are not getting a hold of HMC, so that
Yes, yes. Your voice is breaking.